Let's come back to my state of South Australia. The Adelaide Festival has caused a stir today after it was revealed Australia's biggest law firm, Minter Ellison, has cut ties with the festival over the inclusion of 2 Palestinian writers who have a track record of hostility against Jewish people and have made some terrible comments about the Ukrainian president. Terry, last year it was the Sydney Festival where sponsors dropped like flies after a donation from the Israeli embassy was revealed. Now donors are pulling out because the people who are appearing of this have anti-Semitic views, or two of them do at least. Is it becoming too risky for big business to remain involved in public events like this?
Well, I think businesses, Cory, that are trying to be woke need to wake up to the dangers that you embark on when you go down these paths of providing support to festivals, to all sorts of seemingly good efforts, good exercises in themselves, because you're basically signing on in some way to whatever person or act or whatever turns up at those festivals. And if you start trying to cover every base, clearly there's really no safe ground for providing these sorts of support, because you're going to be tainted by supporting one person or one act at those festivals. And really it's a message to business, I think, big and small, but particularly big. Stay away from this exercise. You don't win any kudos, you don't win any brownie points. It's not a sensible way to spend shareholder money, and you'll end up with egg on your face.
Yeah, who would have thought there's no safe spaces in a world where they're trying to create safe spaces for everyone? Terry, can I stick with you on this? The RBA Governor, Philip Lowe, he had a grilling in Senate estimates this week, or last week. It's been revealed the RBA is eyeing further interest rate hikes to battle inflation today. There's no end in sight, apparently. What impact is this going to have on mortgage holders? And do you think it's going to be effective in curbing inflation? And what will it do to our economy?
Well, I think we should hope that it will be effective, Cory, because if it isn't effective, the pain further down the track will be far worse. And we saw that in the 1990s when interest rates went to 18%. Home loan rates went to 17%. People complaining about and feeling the pain of 6% home loan rates should think about that. Yes, I mean, the Reserve Bank was too slow to start raising rates. It had to raise rates eventually. It did. And as you've indicated, the Governor and the Board think there are more rate rises to come. We can only hope that it gets on top of inflation, that it doesn't spread into a wages prices spiral, because that's the real danger down the track.
Yeah, and the RBA chief did warn about that as well. Hey, Matt, can I just go back to Alice Springs for a moment? There, as I mentioned opening up, there are fears violence in the community is about to flare up again. Some would suggest it never really calmed down except for that 4-hour visit. And local bakery owner, a bloke named Darren Clark, he's been suspended again from Facebook. This is the same week his store was broken into for the 42nd time. Give us an update on what is actually happening on the ground in Alice Springs right now.
Well, Alice Springs has been facing these issues for a long time. Cory, Darren Clark started that page, Action for Alice, 3 years ago in response to the crime issues that town was dealing with, and they've been escalating ever since. I think we need to say a few words about Darren Clark, because at times he's painted in a light that I think is unfair to him. I've known Darren for a while, and I know his wife Kate, and they have the bakery there in Alice Springs, and they've had various bakeries in town for quite a while. This is a bloke who's actually done more than most people in this country to try to advance the lives and improve the lives of Aboriginal people. And I've had several conversations with Darren over the past few weeks, as have some of my colleagues here, including Laura Jays. This is a man who has a passion for improving his town and for improving the lives, in particular, of Aboriginal people in his town and in the surrounding remote communities. He's been slapped with this Facebook ban for posting a video that showed, at one stage, I think, Aboriginal kids fighting in the street. I think what Darren Clark has been trying to do with that page is highlight the issues that everyone in that town is facing, that business owners are facing, but that Aboriginal people too are facing. And you know, to see him shut down for 28 days, as has been reported, you know, it just seems absurd to me. This is a guy, I think, whose heart's well and truly in the right place. He's tried to get action for his town, and he's been very effective in doing that. I think it's really, I can't understand why he's been shut down, because I don't think he's done anything other than highlight the issues that everyone in his town has been facing.
Yeah, and people want to see resolved, I think. Hey, Terry, just quickly, go back to the Aston by-election, which we mentioned a bit earlier. There's now only 3 candidates in the field, the 3 female candidates. The Liberal Wets have said they have to have a woman, and Peter Dutton appears to want to go that way as well. I mean, we'll wait and see who gets pre-selected, but local branch members seem to be a bit angry, and rightfully so, in my opinion, because they want to pick the candidate of their choice, but it's been taken out of their hands. How do you see it?
Well, I'm with the branch members, Cory. It's an exact parallel with what our discussion about superannuation. The branch members are the ones that put in the hard yards, and under the Liberal Party rules, they are the ones that should be selecting the candidate, unless there's an extraordinary circumstance. And choosing a woman over a man from headquarters is not an extraordinary circumstance. The right candidate should be the candidate, and that should be primarily in the hands of the branch members. It's their choice.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why they're afraid of giving it to the people who pay their membership every single year. Matt and Terry, appreciate your time tonight. Thanks very much for joining me on Credlin.